Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a timely tarot oracle reading about random shift, and this is a general or collective reading, so just take what works for you and leave the rest. Also, this is a timely reading, so if you're watching it at this time, it's perfect for you. Having said that, if it has been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then? That might give you further clarity as to your situation now. All right, I did a quick meditation beforehand to get a little bit of an idea of what this reading is going to be about. Hi, Stella. So this is talking about the Two of Swords, and the Two of Swords energy. The swords in tarot represent the element of air, and it's talking about your thoughts and basically your mental intelligence and discipline of the mind. The swords are two-edged swords, so one side represents your logic and the other side represents your intuition. Now, this individual is sitting here with, and you can just tell by her body language and the whole thing that she's really having a hard time coming to, some sort of solution to something. And this is representing kind of a closed mind energy. This is like this or that. There's only two ways that this can happen, my way or the highway. Quite often that's how it can be. And we do have the new moon in the background representing the energy of your intuition is sharp at this time. And so this is talking about, her body language. You can see she is leaking energy from her base chakra with her feet turned out like this. This is representing the masculine and feminine energy. And the base chakra is about, your survival in the 3D and, having to deal with 3D world, lifestyle events. And we do have her, she's protecting her heart here with arms crossed over, and her right arm is holding her left arm back. So this is her logic trying to hold back her intuition. She'd be better off to allow both to come in, and she'd be more likely to find a creative solution. There's not ever only two ways to be able to see something. The blindfold can represent not wanting to see the problem clearly or not being able to find the solution. It can also be saying, quit using your eyes. There's a saying, because you have eyes, you cannot see, which sounds really weird. But what it's talking about is that the human eye can only detect a thin bandwidth of the light, of the spectrum of light. So even when we think we're seeing the entire picture, we're really not. Like my cat, especially when there's reading, she'll be flying around here sometimes chasing after shift that I can't see, but she can see it. And so this is talking about that energy, using your third eye, using your insight, and your intuition to come to creative solutions. And the underlying energy for this reading is the strength or integrity. And this is from my Oracle Tales from the Vector. This is courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. And this is lapis lazuli, this crystal here. And that's what is making up the spine of this Sphinx dragon type energy. And so this is talking about, it's located in Egypt, and this is talking about having the integrity. Lapis lazuli brings out your ability to, for being able to be in an energy of wisdom and truth, and being able to really feel your, what your personal and spiritual growth. And it's also about bringing out the royal energy in you. So this is talking about, in tarot, the strength card is when the young woman is reaching into the lion's mouth. This is about facing your fears, facing who you are, and really taking a hard look at yourself. So not being afraid to go deep and, make changes that you need to make, and opening your mind up to new possibilities here. And then we have, because the Page of Wands is representing a very optimistic energy, someone who is really excited about waking up in the morning and starting their day. And yes, today's a new day. I wonder what will happen. And we can see that the pyramids here in the background are representing the Page of Wands' enthusiasm for exploring the world. And the wand energy that is representing the element of fire. So this is talking about, it's made of wood, and wood fuels the fire for passionate action. He has his feather in a feather in his cap, and he's dressed to the nines because he was chosen for a position with the King and Queen of Wands in the court. And so the pages would work very young, 7 to 14. And that energy is, like it would be a real coup for him. This would be a much better job than the other ones there. And that may seem really young to be working, but his main job would be to run communication back and forth, and sometimes small errands or tasks. And as he became older, he would be given more responsibility. And by the time he was 21, he might even be considered for knighthood if he could afford to buy his own horse. So this is talking about a time frame of some sort of information or communication coming in. It could be talking about like when you were, it could be information that's coming in that was about when you were in elementary school, high school, maybe starting college, university, or like, starting out in the workforce, maybe apprenticing for something. Or it could talk about people that you knew from back then, some information or communication coming back from way back then. Communication maybe coming from someone you haven't seen for 7 years, 14 years, 21 years. And so this is somewhat definitely energy from the past. And it also can be talking about just like having a new enthusiasm for life, like feeling like you're back in this energy. You could be 80 and you could be in this energy. Something happens and you're like, yes, I feel like I feel optimistic about life again. Just it's a real enthusiasm for life and passion for something or someone. Now, the thing about the Page of Wands is that you have to remember that, think of a young masculine energy under the age of 21. This energy, quite often he is thinking with his little head. And so, you have to double check his information, make sure that it's not overly optimistic and that he does have the facts right, because quite often his mind is on other things. And then we have the energy here about the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is a reward from the divine and the universe collaborating to bring some truth into you. This is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. So if you've been waiting for some truth to come in so that you can maybe move forward or figure out what's going on in your life or where you want to go, this is saying that the aces are always talking about brand new energy coming in, and so is this card here. So this isn't going, stuck energy here is not going to last forever. And then but you do need to open your mind up and consider using your intuition. That's what lapis lazuli is so good for. It has this gold pyrite in it. And it's just, it's very connected to the sun energy. So this is talking about the Seven of Pentacles, is talking about the energy of the element of earth and its happiness, in the third dimensional world. Health, wealth, happiness, and it is represented by a coin because, of course, a big part of the 3D world is having money. But you can have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle you want. And that's what this card sometimes can be saying. It can be saying that maybe you put 1 pentacle of energy and you managed to collect 6 pentacles with ease. And it was a very successful project and you're really proud of yourself and all that. Normally you would be ecstatic and you'd be like, yes, I did it. But it's falling flat, and it's kind of like you're like, this is starting to bore me now. The chasing after money part energy, I would rather be doing something else, like to make my money, or I would like to make a change in my lifestyle. I want to do something different. And it also can represent an energy of having put 6 pentacles of energy, time, money, energy invested into a project or someone or whatever. And it's actually, this is all you've gotten out of it. So it's kind of like draining your energy, and it's getting to the point where you're wondering, like, should I just ditch this project and just accept the loss and move forward in a new way? Start something different, move, or whatever that is. So it can kind of go either way. And then we have this energy of the 10 of Cups, and that's the most that you can have. So the 10 of Cups is basically saying it quite often can be like a reward, like, the rainbow after the storm kind of energy. And it's talking about having all the love you want in your life, like the love of a partner, and you love them, and your children that you love and they love you, and you have like the lifestyle that you want, living where you love to live, and you love the country you're in, and just, like your career. You have a lovely life, and this is a promise of that after going through some sort of hardship. But it's talking about needing to open your mind up to the possibilities of that. And then we have the Hangman. So you may be stuck in this energy kind of for a long time now. Sometimes the tens can sometimes represent like a decade of energy, or the end of a decade of energy. So you might have been hanging in there. That's the energy I'm getting, hanging in there. Like when you're in a situation and you're kind of like, oh, like I don't know how much more of this I can handle. Like I just don't want to be here. And so and that's the energy here. It's just not really seeing a way out, or only seeing two ways. And there's never only two ways of doing things. If you use your logic and your intuition, you'll come to several, creative solutions to a problem. And the Hangman energy, he hangs there, and when his aura brightens, that's when he knows, oh, okay, he's looking at the situation from every perspective. And you can see that here, to see, okay, how can I get from this to this? And why do I feel this way when I was so successful here? Like, it's like you finally are getting what you want, and then you find out, well, maybe I don't want it after all, after all that. That's like kind of when you want something so badly. You don't want to want something so badly. You want to want something, and it's good when it shows up. It's that type of energy. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. It's kind of, but this is, we go through this a lot. Like if you're a child and you think about, in the old days, like at Christmas, they would have all the commercials, and they have the music in the background, and everybody's smiling and playing nicely together, and you really, really, really want that toy. And then you get it, and it's just in a box, and it's just sitting there. It's kind of like, it's that kind of energy where you really, really want it really badly. And then when you get it, you're like, oh, maybe I don't want it after all. Not if I have to put that kind of effort into it. And so the Knight of Pentacles is talking, though, about some sort of information coming in. This is the slowest of the knights in the tarot. The Knight of Pentacles will be bringing in some sort of information regarding your lifestyle. Pentacles, this could be about some energy around investments, or maybe an investment pays off way bigger than you think it's going to, or there could be an energy of an inheritance or some unexpected money, like, something that comes in that's a real beautiful surprise, basically. Now, the Knight of Pentacles can also represent something you've been waiting and waiting and waiting for, and he is the slowest knight of in the deck, and sometimes it can be really annoying and irritating because his horse is at a total standstill, and he's just sitting there, and you want to yell at him, move, But like, he could have a board meeting with himself whether or not he should brush his teeth yet. It's like, come on, get here with the information. But the good news is, when he does show up, unlike the information from the Page of Wands, it won't be overly optimistic. It'll be well thought out. And this can be saying that, maybe it's a good idea that you took the time to think things through and really look at things from all angles. And that, so when the offer comes in, you'll know it's a solid offer or it's not, because you've done your research. And that's saying, do your research, basically, like the Knight of Pentacles, and then you'll be happy. Here's the Sun. It's the happiest card in the deck. This represents God's energy. And it's talking about the sun warming up the entire reading, and definitely sitting on the truth here. So that you're going to, when this truth comes in about whatever is going on here that's keeping you in this energy, you're going to end up being very happy when this information gets sorted out and the actual truth does come out. So this is talking about you being a child of God, and you're meant to be happy. You see how the sunflowers are turning, their heads turn with the sun, and that's so that they can absorb the warmth and the light of the sun so that they can grow strong. And this energy is talking about this young child on a pony, totally fearless in life. He's a child of God. He's holding his this big heavy banner with total ease, because this is his destined path, and he has no fear. Like there's no saddle, there's no reins. He's on his path. It's talking about being you're meant to be happy. And then we have a transition going on here. I feel that this is talking about, I feel like clearly this energy has been kind of heavy that you're in, and you keep waiting for something to happen, and you're hanging in there, but you're tired of hanging in there. You're tired of feeling like the energy's flat. You want to be in this energy more and be happy. So there is a transition coming. A lot of times people become afraid of this card here, but basically this is just saying this card is about one cycle ending and a new cycle beginning, and so is this here. And it's the promise of having this fulfillment in a perfectly imperfect world. So it's not talking about your life is going to be absolutely perfect from now on, but it is saying that you're moving towards this energy. You're, if you do the inner work that you need to do, and you investigate things properly, and you hang in there, and you stay on your destined path, you don't give up and, get all bitter and angry about it, that you're going to survive this. This is the light at the end of the tunnel. And, the Grim Reaper's coming through town, and this older person doesn't want that energy in town. We don't want your change. But, and a lot of people will say, the only thing you can count on is death and taxes and change. So change is happening every second of every minute of every day, whether we acknowledge it or not. We only tend to really notice change and acknowledge it when it has an impact on our life that's noticeable. So, the young children here, they're excited. There's a stranger in town. If you've ever lived in a small town, you'll understand that energy. It's like, hey, I wonder if they have something interesting to say. And this is talking about old systems having to break down for new systems to come in. And that's also in your thinking, right? Like sometimes you have to change your thinking. You have to change the way you approach life, the way you do things. And so this is saying that there is a transition from this energy to happiness. And then we have, look at this, we have the 9 of Pentacles. So this is a big step up from this energy. Now you notice the energy here, we have the 6 Pentacles here, and now this is pre-Empress energy. And this is talking about the Empress energy in tarot. She's in the major arcana, and she embodies the qualities of all 4 queens. She's learned things, sometimes the hard way, sometimes the easy way, but she's learned how to manifest at a very high level. And she also has learned the art of discernment, of how much time, money, energy to invest in any given project. Is it a fair exchange? What do you anticipate the return being? And, checking in on that. Is it like, where am I at in this project, this relationship, whatever this is? And so this always reminds me of Nikola Tesla, the famous inventor and genius. He would talk about, if you knew the beauty of the 369, and you would have the key to the universe. And I feel like this card kind of embodies that energy. Like she's learned the art of discernment, probably the hard way in some instances, but that's elevated her to almost being at an Empress energy. Like she's learned so much through life experience, and she's managed to stay on her destined path and not get all bitter, stay happy, and have the idea that, life there's always change happening. Of course, if change can happen for the worse, it can always happen for the better. And so this is talking about, I'd rather be better than bitter. That's the type of energy. And she's learned, though, that she needs to look after herself. Like she has to put herself first. If you're on in an airplane, the stewardess or stewardesses will tell you to, if the oxygen masks drop, that you need to put them on yourself first, even if you have an infant there. A mother's instinct would be put the oxygen on the baby immediately. But if you pass out after doing that, how are you going to help your infant? And your infant is not going to be able to help you. So it's that kind of energy. Keeping enough, and I feel like Nikola Tesla was talking about a ratio. So 2/3 of what you have, she has her hand on that. So she knows I'm going to have enough to meet my obligations financially, pay my bills, etc., and have a little left over in case there's an emergency. And then maybe these 3 here, one would be for charity, another one might be for a more risky investment. If it comes through, it's really going to empower her financial profile. But if not, it's not going to affect her ability to be able to pay her bills. And then this one might be saving up for like a holiday or a new vehicle or something like that. So it's talking about always kind of understanding that if you deplete your own resources, you're not going to have much to give to other people. So you have to learn that discernment about how much to give and how much to take. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles, and that's when the universe will really reward you when you are on your path of glory. And this is saying you have a huge reward of pentacles coming in. Now, the 10 of Pentacles is representing an energy. And remember, this isn't just about money. This is about your lifestyle. This is about having the love in your life that you want and really enjoying it, and waking up in the morning and feeling like the Page of Wands energy and happy and feeling like you're on your path and you're making a difference in the world. Your work is appreciated. You're on, you're on that path of glory. And this is a collaboration between the Most High and the universe to bring this in for you. Basically, to get there, you have to have the strength and the integrity to take a good look at yourself, open your mind up to the possibilities, see where are you shutting yourself down, that type of energy. And we have from the bottom to the top of the pyramid and down, we have the Page of Wands, which is talking about that optimistic life and staying on your destined path. And then everything changes it. Like we can count on change. It is happening. You just don't notice it until it's noticeable for you. And this is going to be a reward coming in because you stayed on your path and did your best to remain like in this optimistic energy and look at the, also being able to really take a good look at yourself and learn from your mistakes. There's no point in beating yourself up. I mean, for a certain amount of time, you might want to beat yourself up, but eventually you have to just be like, okay, is this benefiting me to be in this energy? And so definitely some sort of information is coming in, about this pentacle energy. So this can be, like as I said, it could be many things. It could be an inheritance. Maybe someone left you something in their will. Like it could be a property, or quite often this is talking about real estate. It could be having going viral, in your business, doing really well that way, or just having a beautiful lifestyle. Maybe it's about having. You've been wanting to start a family and all of a sudden you have a baby now. This quite often can represent, the Empress is considered to be pregnant with possibility because she's able to manifest. So it's that type of energy. After waiting a long time for this energy to come in and thinking, I wonder if it's ever going to show up, tired of hanging in there and wanting, like, can I have something to hang on to? It's that type of energy, I feel. And also about realizing that nothing is forever. What you love to do at one point, there may be a transition at some point. Like the king is trampled underfoot here. That's not talking about an actual person. It's talking about the systems that we had in place and, things that happen in the world that we think are never going to change. Now they are. And we have to, and that's what's happening in the world in a big way right now. There's a lot of change happening. So we want to stay on top of it and not, and stay as optimistic as we can. Not a forced optimism, though, where you fake it till you make it energy. This is more like really doing the inner work so that you can move forward and learn from the past, let it go, and look forward to the future. That's basically, I feel, what this is saying. I'm going to clarify with my oracle cards. For those of you who are leaving the reading here, thank you so much for your time, your energy, He likes, comments, shares, subscribes. I really, truly appreciate them all. And now I'm going to clarify, this is with the Oracle cards. The numbers here represent the cards as they're listed in my gallery. And that is talesfromthevector.com. That information, I'll put them in the order they appear here in the description box for the video below, and the information for the website. And you can take a look at it there if you want. They say a picture paints 1,000 words, so maybe it'll give you further clarity if you want it. So we have disruption here. What's fun for some is not fun for everyone. I feel like that's the energy you've been through, is like, it's just, maybe you feel like you're getting ahead and then you're not. And by the time that you finally get ahead, it's been so difficult and challenging, and there's just no, it falls flat because the joy's been sucked out of it. It's that kind of energy. And quite often this can represent, having put a lot of energy and effort and then not having it acknowledged. And then we have the Ace of Swords here before that energy, and we have Gemini on here. This is coming up in a lot of the readings. Uranus, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, which is about communication and learning, as I said. But Uranus moved into the sign of Gemini about 2 months ago from when I'm doing this reading at the beginning of August 2026. And the thing is that we haven't had Uranus in Gemini since 1941 to 1949, when World War II was in full swing, and then the aftermath of all of that. And so it's a very, the thing about that you need to know about about Uranus and Gemini is that it wants the truth to come out, and it's sitting right on here. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. And so this energy is saying that if there's some truth that you need to come to, sometimes this can also be about talking in a court of law, because that's what we say. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. And you're swearing usually on a Bible. So this energy is talking about the truth coming out. And the thing is that this energy is coming out in kind of weird ways, because Gemini energy is very quick. It shifts really easily. Quite often Gemini is represented by the twins, because it can be like a back and forth energy, and 1 minute it's this and the next minute it's that. And that's because Gemini is probably the most adaptable to change of all the signs. And it's also talking about like Gemini, Uranus in Gemini wants the truth to come out. And so the truth is coming out in these weird ways, weird truths in weird ways, things that you thought people, you're watching it happen in the news and you're thinking, there'll never be any justice. Nothing is ever happening. And we're seeing it every day more and more now. The energy of like major truths coming out in very wild ways. Like the news in the last few days has been pretty wild. And so this is talking about being able, this truth when it comes out is going to, basically what it's saying though is this truth is a gift for you because you've been on your divine path. So Uranus and Gemini is a pain in the butt for people who are not on the right side of spiritual and physical law. And for people who want the truth to come out, it's a total blessing. It's like, thank you, finally, aha, there's hope after all. And so the energy here is the star energy. I feel like that's what the energy that you're moving into. The star energy is talking about being on your north node, your destined path, being the best version you can be of yourself. And of course, that's going to make you happy. Like when you get acknowledged for that and the reward comes in, it's talking about choosing to be childlike in some ways, like remaining innocent in ways, like being more playful and not taking life too seriously, and recognizing that, every once in a while shift is going to hit the fan and it's going to be like uncomfortable, but nothing ever lasts forever. There's always change happening. So, it's kind of starting to acknowledge that as the shift is happening in your life, maybe starting to notice it and embrace that positive energy. And then we have the world here. So that definitely there is some sort of cycle coming to an end. If you've been in really challenging energy, you're stepping into this energy. And it's a reward for staying on your destined path and doing your best to be happy and stay on God's path and just bring happiness to the world instead of being all grumpy, you know. Some days it's hard not to be grumpy, but every once in a while, you know, you'll have those days, but you don't want to stay in that energy for too long and have a closed mind. An open mind can be like a parachute, you know, it could save your life. And we have the Cancer energy here as well. And this is talking about using your intuition. So your intuition, it's about cycles. And I feel like it's also talking about, you know, that there could be like challenging energy and then really happy energy, and that it's cycles, and that we tend to go up and down in cycles. And Cancer is probably the most emotional of all of the signs. It's, you know, think of young adolescent girls that are starting their cycle, and they're not used to being all those hormones and everything raging. You know, it's really, if you've ever been a young girl, that's, you know, that's about, you know, that's growing up to be a woman, and you're trying to like figure out, you know, how to do that. It can be really emotional. And if you've ever raised girls, you'll know, like they can be really, really, really like a roller coaster. You know, really, really excited and happy one minute, and then all of a sudden they're really, really sad and upset, and you're like, what happened? You know, and the emotion is so overwhelming for them sometimes. Like, it's just like they take things so personally. And so that type of energy, it's just talking about, that's something that we learn to grow out of. And, you know, that, and when you start to recognize, like, you know, embrace that energy. If you're having a bad day, have a bad day, but then open up to the possibility of something really awesome coming in as well. That's what it's saying here. Be engaged in the energy instead of being entrenched in it. Like, you don't want to be bogged down by negative for, you know, too long. We need to have both ends of the spectrum to be able to understand the difference, right? And appreciate both sides of it for that reason. But this is definitely talking about, you know, really looking deeply into yourself and how can you improve. And this is about your journey of being the best version you can be of yourself. That's basically what this is saying. And I also want to point out, when I do have the horoscope signs come up in my general collective readings, I'm not talking about specific people. I'm talking about the energy of each of the signs. If you ever get your birth chart done, you'll notice that you have all the signs in you somewhere in a house. And it can really benefit us to be able to look at, you know, how can we improve certain areas of our life, and also give us a better understanding of other people. And then we have the Hermit. So sometimes there's a time for, like, the Hermit is an energy of, you know, when you feel the need to isolate sometimes and you want to go inward, and the Hermit climbs the mountain. And when the light of the North Star is shining bright in his lantern, his rod lights up, and then he knows it's time to come down from the mountain after conferring with the Most High, and come down and take action. And then it's more likely to be a rewarding experience. If we sometimes need to do that, go inward, and sometimes we need to stop isolating and get back out there and be enthusiastic about life. So this is about having the strength and the integrity to be able to face yourself, basically, and do what you need to improve your life and move, you know, and move forward. Definitely there is, for some of, if you've been in a sort of a stuck energy here, I feel like it's definitely shifting. So don't give up, keep going, and, you know, do the best. You don't want to fake it till you make it, but you want to open yourself up to the possibilities that could be coming in. All right, I do hope you've enjoyed this reading. I never know what I'm going to get with the random shift. This is a really good reading. I think it's got a lot of good advice. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. Thank you for your likes, comments, shares, subscribes, and I'll be back with another reading for you again soon. Bye for now.